Good morning and welcome back to On the Bump, an SP Streamer podcast, now part of the Fantrax Podcast Network and FantraxHQ.com family. It's Wednesday, April 21st. I'm your host, Doug Ishikawa. You can follow me on Twitter at CoachingIsh. As always, I'm joined by the only person that I know who watches the circle all the time. It's Mr. Michael Simeone at SP Streamer. Good morning, Michael. What's up? How you doing?
Have you watched that show, Doug?
No, I refuse to watch.
It is
reality TV.
fantastic. You need to watch it.
Give me a quick
So
plug.
for those
Why?
who don't know, The Circle is basically it's kind of hard to describe, but it's basically like all about catfishing. So like they bring on like 8 people and they're secluded into their bedrooms. They never meet each other and they could just talk through like they create like a social media platform for the show. And they just have discussions and blah, blah, blah. It's all about just trying to make connections. And some people are themselves and some people pretend to be other people based on strategy and stuff. And like people get eliminated and they add on blah, blah, blah. And then until it gets to like the final, I forget what it was, like final 4, I think. And then you vote for a winner and the winner wins money. So it's all about like being as likable as you can and like all this other stuff. It's so entertaining. They had in the first season, they had probably one of my favorite, I want to say characters, but he was actually just himself on any like reality show ever. He was the funniest freaking dude.
Okay.
Just watch it. I'm telling you.
Oh, you sold me. You sold me on a new reality television show. If you're tuning in and watching this on YouTube, Michael and I look adorable this morning in our matching hoodies. We're wearing the Solo Stove hat, but let's get right into it this morning. No more reality TV. Let's talk about fantasy baseball. Wednesday episodes are dedicated to our Observer Report, who Michael is watching and why, and who will be watching over these next couple of starts. Michael, take it away. Guru, pitching master. What are you looking at?
All right, we'll start with Jacob Junis. So far this season, 2 starts, 4 appearances, has a 1.50 ERA with a 1.39 FIP. So that shows it kind of might be real. Hasn't given up a home run yet, which is great. Basically reworked a pitch. The swing strike percentage is up. The K rate is way up. That's probably going to come down a little bit. But, overall 26.1 K walk percentage has looked pretty impressive so far. Not fully sold yet, though. I'm afraid he's still just a 2-pitch pitcher, and like we might kind of see what he always once was, which is basically a middle 4 ERA guy who could sometimes have some good games with strikeouts. So he's someone I want to keep watching and see if maybe he could keep it up. Because if he can, then that's pretty cool. Next guy hurts me to say, Doug. Here's the problem. So with the Reds, Sonny Gray is back.
Mm-hmm.
So that means De Leon has been pushed to the bullpen. And now we're left with Jeff Hoffman towards the end of the rotation. Jeff Hoffman has been pretty good.
He has been.
His last start, his 4-seam had a 38 CSW with 10 whiffs. And basically what he's done is reintroduced his slider. Coming away from Coors Field has helped, obviously, has pitched really well. But Doug, what does that mean if Hoffman is good?
It means that Michael Lorenzen, who we care, and we hope that he gets better because he's been on the IL, and I think he's going to come back maybe in June. I think that's the timeline.
Oh, I don't even know. I haven't seen anything.
It's not great. I mean, we've had him on. He's a friend of the pod, and that means that Michael Lorenzen probably gets pushed to the bullpen when he comes back. Is that correct?
Yep, that is correct. And unfortunate. But yeah, so I'm going to keep watching Hoffman. I mean, again, adding a pitch is interesting. He did throw the slider 2 years ago, ditched it last year, brought it back, and it has looked pretty decent. So we'll see. I mean, the Reds are good with their pitchers. They have a good track record. I mean, it seems like any young guys or anyone they bring in, they're pretty successful with. I mean, look at Malley. He's finally taken a step forward. So we'll see what they do with him, but he's definitely someone to watch. And I got one more left. That's going to be JT Brubaker. He's throwing his slider a lot more than ever. It basically has superseded his fastball, which is fantastic. It looks like the Pirates are having him do the right thing for once. He's so far both induced a lot of weak contact. In fact, his last start, his sinker had a 42 CSW and 7 cold strikes. So what's interesting is both of his fastballs are kind of playing really well off each other. So kind of like I mentioned, the sinker was really good inducing weak contact. It was good his last start. The four seam has been pretty legit. They look like a good pairing. So I feel like now if you got a good pairing of 2 fastballs and then this really good slider that he's always had, he looks to be coming towards a really good, a complete pitcher. Something that we got to see if it stands. I don't know if he's going to the slider a lot more just because of game plan, and maybe the Pirates might screw it up again and make him switch back. Who the hell knows? But yeah, definitely someone to watch, especially if he continues with the pitch mix change, because that should really work in his favor, and see if those 2 fastballs keep performing well, because he's going to really need the sinker and four seam to induce that weak contact, because the slider, like I said, is good at making whiffs, but sometimes he leaves it over the zone. When he does, it gets absolutely smashed. So to limit the damage, he's going to need those 2 fastballs for sure.
So just to recap, 3 names that you should be watching along with what Michael's been watching is Jacob Junis of the Kansas City Royals, Jeff Hoffman from the Cincinnati Reds, as well as JT Brubaker from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Those are some names that have been popping up that maybe you can grab and snag and see what they do for a starter or 2. And before we leave, make sure that you get your daily read on. Do you know that Michael writes the quick blurb on the streamer of the day? So if you're ever on the fence about who to start, I know you have a lot of different options to go to via Twitter, all these different fantasy baseball websites, but if you want a little bit more detailed analysis of why, and not just the name that says start or sit, go and check out what Michael's been tweeting. Go check out to see what we're doing at the site. It helps. It doubly helps when you're kind of making that decision and you're trying to chase ratios or a win or some Ks. Michael lays it all out there, so make sure that you follow along everything that we're doing. And as always, if you're listening on a platform that allows you to rate, review, or share us, it would be greatly appreciated. You can still join the SP Streamer Nation in the Discord. You can hang out with us. You can talk baseball, whatever tickles your fancy. We are talking about. If you want to talk the circle, I'm sure Michael will take some time to go through that step by step with you, because I definitely will not, because I can only do one reality show at a time.
Look, I'm telling you, watch the first season. You won't regret it.
All right. Well, you sold me on it. I'll give it a whirl here. I mean, if I can wear the hoodie and I've given this a chance, then I can definitely give another recommendation by you for your TV time. So, all right. As that's our show for today, Michael, can't wait to talk to you soon, my friend. We will be back here on Friday, but from Michael Simeone, I'm Doug Ishikawa. I hope you have a great Wednesday, everyone. Like I just told you, we'll be back Friday with our streamer report. But in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and we will see you soon.